Did you ever wake up as a kid the day after Christmas and wish every day was Christmas? It happened once upon a town. This is the story of the North Platte Canteen that happened at the Union Pacific station. September the 1st, 1939, Hitler's armies attack Poland. By February of 1940, the Jews were under full persecution in the ghettos of Poland. By June of 1940, Paris had fallen to the Nazi troops. Meanwhile, the United States remained neutral. Neutrality ended with the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. War was declared by Congress on December 7th. And later in December of 1941, Ray Wilson of North Platte wrote to the local newspaper, "Let's put on a Christmas canteen for my brother's troop train." Ray Wilson's brother was supposed to be on the 11 o'clock train on December 17th, 1941. His unit was the Nebraska 134th. The Nebraska troops never showed. Instead, a unit from Kansas showed up about 4:30 p.m. The food of the canteen was spoiling, so they decided to give it to the troops from Kansas. On that day, the Christmas canteen was born. It would run from December 1941 until August 1945, a stretch of making Christmas happen every day for 4 years. You heard that correctly. They made Christmas happen every day for the next 4 years. The trains would go 30 miles per hour for up to 3,000 miles coast to coast. Food was hard to buy at a 10-minute stop. Sea rations were sometimes the only food for miles and miles. The North Platte Canteen was an oasis of hospitality. Dozens of towns across central Nebraska turned out to help. Church groups, youth groups just like ours, Boy and Girl Scout troops, also clubs like the Lions and the Kiwanis. Each of them took turns bringing food and serving the troops. Here is a look at the numbers. There were 23 trains a day, sometimes carrying 3,000, 5,000, even 8,000 soldiers and sailors day after day. The estimate is that they served over 6 million people in uniform. Sometimes the canteen food was the first fresh food that they would have for miles. People brought their own fresh apples and peaches from their farms and their orchards. They never missed a train, and they never missed a day. They passed out the sandwiches, eggs, fruit, donuts, and cookies. They also made birthday cakes by the thousands. Each train had a chance of at least one or two troops on board who had a birthday and might be miles from home. Canteen food was all fresh and all free. They never took a dime. The Central Nebraskans gave it all away, absolutely free. Word of the North Platte Canteen spread like wildfire. It reached the point that some of the troops would tell newcomers, "Look out, boys, look out, ladies. Here comes North Platte. You're in for a real treat. They think it's Christmas all the time." Thank God for North Platte. What made all this possible? It's because so many of the volunteers came from the churches. And because of the Christ child, They knew the meaning of sharing love, and one of the mottos of Christianity is the ministry of hospitality. As it says in the 13th chapter of Hebrews, verse 2, do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing so, some have entertained angels without knowing it. Many of the soldiers and sailors would say that the volunteers at the North Platte Canteen were angels in their own right, keeping Christmas alive all year long.